Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Miss English podcast. I am your host, Sachata, and I am absolutely buzzing with energy today because we are diving into a topic that touches every single one of us at some point in our learning journey.
Hello, Sachata, and a huge welcome to all our listeners out there. It is a pleasure to be back in the studio with you. I can already feel the positive vibes today. What is our big topic for this session?
Today, we are talking about how to talk confidently. We often hear students say, I know the grammar and I know the vocabulary, but when I open my mouth, I just freeze. Does that sound familiar, Mr. Saroon?
Oh, absolutely. It is a universal feeling. Even for me, after all these years of teaching, there are moments where that little voice of doubt creeps in. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about the courage to be imperfect while you speak.
That is such a powerful way to put it. The courage to be imperfect. I think many of our listeners feel like they have to reach a level of 100% accuracy before they can feel confident. But in reality, confidence actually comes first, right?
Exactly. Think of it like a muscle. You don't wait to be strong before you go to the gym. You go to the gym to become strong. Talking is your workout. Every time you push through that awkwardness, your confidence muscle grows a little bit bigger.
I love that analogy. So let's give our listeners some real actionable steps. If someone is standing in front of a native speaker or in a meeting and their heart starts racing, what is the very first thing they should do?
The first step is physiological. Take a deep breath. When we are nervous, our breathing becomes shallow, which tells our brain we are in danger. By taking a slow, deep breath, you signal to your nervous system that you are safe. It sounds simple, but it is the foundation of calm communication.
That is so true. I often find myself holding my breath when I am nervous. Now, let's talk about body language. They say communication is more than just words, right?
Oh, immensely so. Over 50% of communication is nonverbal. If you stand with your shoulders slumped and your eyes on the floor, you are telling yourself and the other person that you aren't ready to lead the conversation. Stand tall, make eye contact, and smile. A smile is the universal sign of friendliness, and it actually relaxes your vocal cords.
It really does. I've noticed that when I smile, my voice sounds much brighter and more engaging. It's like magic. But what about the fear of making a grammar mistake? That is the biggest ghost that haunts our students.
I call that the grammar police in our heads. We think everyone is waiting for us to make a mistake so they can arrest us. But here is the secret, Sachata. Most people just want to understand your message. They aren't counting your prepositions. Focus on the message, not the mechanics.
Focus on the message, not the mechanics. I'm writing that down. It's about connection over perfection. I remember a time when I used do instead of did during a big presentation. I was so embarrassed, but nobody even noticed because they were interested in the data I was sharing.
Precisely. You were communicating value. Now, another tip I give to my students is the power of the pause. Many people think talking fast means talking fluently, but confident speakers actually take their time. They aren't afraid of a little silence.
Oh, tell me more about that. Why is pausing so effective?
Deliberately. When you pause, you give yourself time to think of the next word, and you give the listener time to absorb what you said. It makes you look like you are in control of the conversation, rather than the conversation being in control of you.
I feel more confident just listening to you explain that. It's like we are reclaiming our space in the conversation. Now, Mr. Saroon, what about preparation? How can we prepare to be confident?
Wisely. Preparation is the antidote to anxiety. But don't just study grammar books. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Record your voice on your phone and listen back. It might feel cringeworthy at first, but it helps you get used to the sound of your own voice in English.
I used to record myself while cooking. I would narrate my recipe like I was on a TV show. Now Sachata is adding the salt. It felt silly, but it really helped my flow.
That is brilliant. You are creating a safe environment to fail and succeed. That is key. You need a sandbox where you can play with the language without any stakes. Eventually, that playfulness carries over into real conversations.
Well, this has been such a wonderful discussion. I can feel my own confidence rising just by talking about it. Before we wrap up this part of the show, do you have one final golden nugget of advice for someone who wants to start talking more confidently today?
My golden nugget is this. Be kind to yourself. You are learning a whole new way to express your soul. That is a brave thing to do. Celebrate the small wins. If you ordered a coffee in English today, that's a victory. If you asked a question in a meeting, that's a triumph. Build on those wins.
You are expressing your soul. That is beautiful, Mr. Saroon. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. It truly means a lot to me and to our listeners.
It was my absolute pleasure, Sachata. To everyone listening, remember, your voice matters. Don't hide it.
What a perfect note to end on. Thank you all for tuning in to the Miss English podcast. Go out there, take a deep breath, and speak your truth. We'll see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone. Keep practicing and keep smiling.